Good afternoon and welcome to this semester's final edition of the Jayhawk Sports Report. I'm Molly Pat Horan.
And I'm Nick Price. We have a great final show for you tonight, and it all starts with a former Jayhawk making waves in the NBA. For those of you who question Andrew Wiggins' decision to leave the Jayhawks after just one season, no need to question anymore. Wiggins not only made history for the Jayhawks, but also for the Minnesota Timberwolves, as he was named Rookie of the Year, the first in T-Wolves history. Wiggins was the runaway winner of the award, taking 110 out of the 130 first-place votes. He finished his first NBA season averaging 36 minutes and 17 points a game, but caught fire in his last 15 games, and his scoring average jumped up to 22 points per contest. Not only that, but Wiggins was the only rookie to start all 82 games this season. Wiggins joins Wilt Chamberlain as the only Jayhawks to have won the Rookie of the Year award.
Another great moment for the Kansas basketball team and for head coach Bill Self as he landed himself his sixth top 10 national recruit in the last 3 years. 6'9" power forward Cheek Diallo has committed to Kansas over Kentucky, Iowa State, Louisville, and more top-ranked teams. Diallo averaged roughly 18 points and 11 rebounds per game last season. Surprisingly, he has only been playing basketball for roughly 5 years, but was a two-time McDonald's All-American MVP and a Jordan Classic MVP. Now moving to the Diamond, it has been one of those years for Kansas baseball. They take one step forward and 2 steps back. Wednesday night was no different for the Jayhawks against the Arkansas Pine Bluff. It was a beautiful night for baseball in Lawrence. In the first inning, Connor McKay scores on a pass ball, giving Kansas the early lead of 1-0. And then in the second inning, Gomez singles up the middle and Figueroa runs home, but then Munoz slides on by, giving the score Pine Bluff lead 2-1. Kansas just couldn't keep that early lead because later Figueroa hits a single out into the left field. Cassidy scores and Pine Bluff leads 3-1. It was still in the second and Haas singles up the middle and would bring it home to Figueroa to make it 5-1 the Golden Lions, where they really stretched out their lead there. And then later Munoz pops it up to bring home Tillman home, giving the Pine Bluff the lead still at 6-1. And then we jump to the 9th inning where Connor McKay knocks out a homer to left center, but just when the Jayhawks find a little glimmer of hope to bring home the win, it just still wasn't enough, as Kansas would go on to take the loss of 6-5 to the Arkansas Pine Bluffs. The Jayhawks fall 19-26 overall, and the loss was the first program ever against a Southwestern Athletic Conference opponent.
And the KU baseball team kicks off a 3-game homestand against Baylor this weekend. Game 1 of that series is tonight at 6 o'clock. Our own Travis Calvin is live at Hoagland Ballpark with a preview. Travis?
Thanks, Nick. I'm here at Hoagland Ballpark where the Kansas Jayhawks will be taking on the Baylor Bears tonight at 6 p.m. It'll be a good opportunity for the Jayhawks to get some wins this weekend against the Baylor Bears team that has struggled away from home. They are only 1-8 on the road this season. However, Baylor has won 13 of 18 series all time against the Jayhawks. KU is 19-26 this season after losing to the Arkansas Pine Bluff Golden Lions on Wednesday night 6-5. Ace Ben Kraut will be on the mound for the Jayhawks tonight. He has a 3.73 ERA, a team-leading 6-3 record, as well as being the Big 12 newcomer of the week. It'll be a beautiful night here at Hoagland Ballpark. It's 75 degrees, and the first pitch, as I mentioned before, is at 6 p.m. Reporting live at Hoagland Ballpark, Travis Calvin, KUJH Sports.
Yeah, thank you, Travis. Once again, first pitch for that one is slated for 6 o'clock and can be seen on ESPN3.
Now let's take a closer look at what sports we have on tap for this weekend.
Yeah, the rowing team is ready for the Sunflower Showdown as they welcome cross-state rival Kansas State for the Kansas Cup. This is the last race before the Big 12 Championships, and the events start tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock at Wyandotte County Lake.
The track and field team hosts the first annual Rock Chalk Classic tomorrow morning. The Jayhawks also host Sunflower State rivals Kansas State and Wichita State. The Rock Chalk Classic will be the final home meet for the Kansas seniors and for the season.
And as we mentioned before, the baseball team's coming off a loss and host the Baylor Bears starting tonight at 6 o'clock at Hoagland Ballpark. The second game of the series will take place tomorrow afternoon at 2, and Sunday's game will wrap up the series at 1 o'clock. All the action can be seen live on ESPN3.
The softball team also comes off 2 losses to Oklahoma as they welcome Baylor for the weekend. They go into this series with a conference record of 5-7. The first pitch of the series is slated for 5 tonight at Arosha Ballpark. The second game will be tomorrow at 2 p.m. and to close out the weekend, they will play again tomorrow on Sunday at noon. Well, there's a lot going on this weekend. Are you going to go out and catch some games?
I hope so. It's supposed to be beautiful, 80 degrees all weekend, maybe a little rain, so hopefully it stays away and we can go check out some of these sporting events.
I hope so. Coming up next, we'll take a look at how Kansas City Royals have been doing against the Detroit Tigers.
Yeah, plus the Kansas City Chiefs will have a new face in the secondary this season. All that and more when we return. Stay with us.
With the first pick in the 2015 NFL Draft, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers select Jameis Winston, quarterback, Florida State. With the second pick in the 2015 NFL Draft, the Tennessee Titans select Marcus Mariota, quarterback, Oregon.
And the 2013 Heisman Trophy winner, Jameis Winston, played quarterback for Florida State and led the team to a 13-0 record last season. Winston finished the season with 3,900 yards passing and 25 touchdowns. Oregon gave Winston his only defeat in 2015 in the Rose Bowl during the college football playoff semifinal game. Speaking of Oregon, the second overall draft pick was Oregon's quarterback Marcus Mariota, and he went to the Tennessee Titans. Mariota is a Heisman Trophy winner from last season and was selected the offensive MVP in the victory over Florida State. Mariota finished his junior season ahead of Winston with almost 4,500 yards passing and 42 touchdowns. Now let's go ahead and take a look at some of the other players that were drafted in the top 10. Jacksonville picked up the talented defensive end Dante Fowler out of Florida. The Oakland Raiders took Amari Cooper, the wide receiver out of Alabama. Offensive lineman Brandon Scherf goes to the Redskins. Leonard Williams, Mel Kiper said, was the best defensive player in this draft, ended up going to the New York Jets. Kevin White, the wide receiver out of West Virginia. And then we have Vic Beasley, Eric Flowers, and Todd Gurley rounding up your top 10.
As there are many character questioning players in the draft this year, the Kansas City Chiefs made the decision to take a risk on one. The Chiefs used their first round number 18 pick to draft former University of Washington cornerback Marcus Peters. Peters was suspended for a game after a sideline tirade and was dismissed from the team due to a confrontation with an assistant coach. But in his last two seasons, Peters has allowed a completion percentage of just 38% with 24 passes defensed. Let's get to know the newest Kansas City Chief a little bit better. He played ball at Washington for 3 years from 2012 to 2014. He's a decent size, about 6 feet tall, 190 pounds. During his time at Washington, he recorded 129 total tackles and 11 interceptions. So he sure can be effective, but as I mentioned before, he's a bit of a head case being dismissed for arguing with the coaches. This will be something that Andy Reid will need to keep an eye on.
Now to the other Kansas City team, the Kansas City Royals take on the Detroit Tigers in a 4-game series this weekend, the first of which was last night. Jumping right to the third inning, Eric Hosmer, oh boy, he ate his Wheaties this morning. Knocks this one straight away center field, almost gets it to the scoreboard, and he's showing a lot of power early on. That's a 2-run home run. Royals up 3-0. And jumping to the 5th inning now, Kendry Morales showing every day why he's an upgrade over country breakfast Billy Butler. Off the wall, that double would bring in Lorenzo Cain to score. He'd score standing up. Morales continues his hot start to the year. 4-0 Royals after that. Same inning, Salvador Perez brings out the 7-iron, scoops this one off the ground, doubles it off the wall, scoring Kendry Morales. And your score is now 5-0 Kansas City. Salvi continuing that hot start. Meanwhile, Danny Duffy was on the mound, and here's a long shot from Ian Kinsler, but Gerard Dyson able to track it down and make the catch. That's what speed do. He saves his pitcher there. Danny Duffy went 7+ innings, 1 earned run, and the Royals go on to win by a final score of 8-1. These two teams will face off again tonight. First pitch slated for 7:10, and you can see all the action live on Fox Sports Kansas City. So pretty cool to beat the Detroit Tigers in the first game, or first matchup this season. A lot of bad blood between those two teams. We'll see how it plays out throughout the weekend.
Yeah, I hope they can keep winning.
Hopefully.
When we return on the Jayhawk Sports Report, we'll take a look at the fight of the century and all of that, and when we return. Well, it's almost time for the quote-unquote fight of the century. Our own Nick Price put together a little preview for the match.
Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao, the prize fight that the world has been asking for quite some time.
We've been waiting for this fight for about 5 years now, and so the anticipation of the best fighting the best has been going on for so long now that people cannot wait to watch this fight.
I'm excited. Everybody's excited. The fans all over the world, I know they're very excited, so I'm happy.
I mean, I've been here before. I know that I can fight. I know that I'm a strong athlete, and I'm not 47-0 for no reason. It's obvious I've been doing something right.
Floyd Money Mayweather is on the verge of history as he puts his unprecedented perfect record on the line.
He got more to lose than Pacquiao have to do. He fight the fight that he think is best. If it means dancing, moving, if they booing, he don't care. He gonna do what's necessary to win.
But despite his perfect record, he hasn't yet earned the respect of many boxing legends.
He's very delusional. He's a little scared man. He's a very small, scared man.
Despite the individual criticism, this fight is still being recognized as the fight of the century.
Will this fight live up to the hype?
Yes. It's time to fight now. You guys came out here to see excitement. You guys came out here to see a great event. And I think that's what both competitors bring to the table, excitement. The biggest fight in boxing history. And I'm a part of it, so that's a great thing.
So are you going to watch the fight?
Yeah, a couple of my friends are pitching in some money, and we're going to be able to watch the fight of the century.
Yeah. Well, Jayhawk fans, thanks for watching. That's all we have for tonight.
Yeah, we want to thank you all for tuning in. Big thank you to the production crew and everyone else in the studio. Without them, none of this would be possible. For the final time for this semester, have a good night, Lawrence.